name is?
Christopher Brown.
Hi, Christopher.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about whatever you'd like to say about you being here tonight?
Well, I mean, I've been involved with Occupy Wall Street almost from the beginning, not quite from September 17th, but I came down. First time was, I believe it was October 1st, which was the day that 700 people were arrested on the Brooklyn Bridge. And that day I had really very little idea of what was going on, other than I'd run into a march at one point heading up Broadway. I was coming out of a store, shopping of all things, and the 99% meme really captured my imagination that day, and I knew that there was something there for me to check out. So I made it down to Zuccotti on October 1st, and ever since I've been participating pretty strongly with a working group on called Empowerment and Education.
Empowerment and Education.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that group.
Well, most specifically, that group was the first sort of like educationally oriented working group among Occupy Wall Street, and we started with open forums, and we were able to bring down like some really excellent speakers. We had Naomi Klein, we had Richard Wolff, the economist. We had a number of professors from NYU and the New School coming down to speak. Angela Davis came down once for an open forum. At the end, you were well, she was here, and then she came down to Zuccotti later on.
Oh,
we invited her down with Empowerment and Education.
Right.
That was the same day that she was here, though. Were you here for that?
I was here for that when she was in the park.
I wish I tried to be in two places at once that day, but I couldn't do it. And she spoke for a brief time down there. But anyways, but what has really developed more, the largest movement that's developed out of, or affinity group that's developed out of Empowerment Education is the Occupy Student Debt Campaign. And as I'm wearing right here, this is not only for solidarity for the Canadian students, the red square represents that solidarity, but also on here, and I don't know if your camera can pick it up, it says 1T Day. And that was April 25th. That was the day that student loan debt hit $1 trillion in the United States. And we had a big action around that in Union Square, and a couple hundred of us marched down to Wall Street that day. But that movement is, and you can find us on OccupyStudentDebtCampaign.org. We're basically fighting the student loan crisis, and we have actions that you can take on the website. You can go there and see what those are, and you know that's been my target, my aim in terms of action and organizing.
You mentioned Canada, and you have
yes.
relationship to Canada too?
Well, I mean the relationship of
we're all together in that, but
yes, I mean I don't have a personal relationship with Canada other than solidarity for their struggle. Yeah, for the student struggle there, and the student struggle there is over tuition hikes that are happening in Quebec and Montreal. The Francophone schools, the French-speaking universities up there are very active. The English-speaking universities are just starting to catch on to this. But today marks 101 days of student strike in Canada. So much so that they've literally completed they just ended the semester. The faculty just had to end the semester in the universities up there. So the students
they really stayed the course.
They stayed the course. I mean, there were a number of marches, upward of 300,000 students hitting the streets. So much so that on Friday they passed a law called Law 78, which the Canadians are calling the Law Fuck, which means a fuck law. And it's basically an oppressive I don't know, obviously they don't have the First Amendment up there, but it really is an anti-First Amendment type of law that's went into effect as of last Friday that has severe fines to students, unions, faculty, and schools discouraging protest and striking. The students have been defying it. They defied it yesterday with a march of 250,000 people in Quebec, I believe, or Montreal. A lot of people. We're not finding that same kind of fire in the belly of the students here in New York yet, particularly the undergraduates. As a matter of fact, in the Occupy Student Debt Campaign and Empowerment and Education, the majority of students involved in that, which are a lot of students, it's mostly academics in that particular working group, are graduate students. We're having a real struggle with undergraduates, and we're really trying to figure that out right now. We have some theories about why that's so, but it's been a challenge. I think
what is your idea about that?
That's a whole other interview.
Oh, okay, for another meeting the next time we run.
Perhaps. And they're all just like really cursory theories at this point.
What was the name of the website again?
OccupyStudentDebtCampaign.org.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So again, my name is Mark.
And my name's Christopher.
Christopher, and if you'd like, I'll give you, I'm going to sign off right now.
Excellent.
For
and
therapy
you can use
for the
this
heart.
footage